Hello, welcome back to the Scale Modeling Twins. A post-build review this time. This is Airfix's 148 scale Bristol Bulldog Mark II. It's a really nice kit. All right, so we'll get to that in a moment. We'll have a look at the instructions first. So what I'll do, I'll change camera. Just give me a second. I'll just swap it over. A bit of a lag, but won't take long. Right, instructions. So there's quite a lot of detail in the cockpit on this, which is pretty cool. Most of these parts are painted black. You've got the odd occasional bit that are different colors, but and then it goes into fuselage halves. And it's saying red brown at the bottom there, which is like a doped. It's color of doped linen. The rest of it, they're saying 56, which is aluminium, I believe. I think it's the 56. It might be gunmetal. Aluminium. Hasegawa aluminium. Hasegawa, sorry, Umbrel. Yeah, but all that goes together in the two halves. Now, there's a note here. The DP generator provided power for the wireless equipment. It was removable and therefore not always seen fitted to aircraft. So you have a choice whether you're going to put on these little magnetos or not. One of them, I think, well, there's two different sizes here. I think one's for a radio, the other one's probably a fuel pump, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, top wing, bottom wing, blah blah blah. 2 303s go on either side of the pilot. So he's like the breech for each gun is beside him, so he could deal with any stoppages if he had to. Yeah, fuel tanks are in these bumps on the top wing in this, and they feed down to the engine via these pipes. These ones here, from the lowest point of the tank into behind the engine. And then once that's all together, you will build up the engine. Once it's in place, you pop in all these cylinders here, and they're all pretty much the same except for the bottom two. There's part 55, part 56. Well, step 55, 56. All the other ones are 54. So they're generally the same. These are slightly different because that's where the exhausts fit onto this part here, forward of the engine. Slightly different shape. Propeller, bombs, and then just you've got little masts for the air antennas, wires. If you want to fit them, you've got looks like it's probably a Vickers gun over the top there. And rigging. Now, what I like about this one is I go into detail about how to do that, but what they're generally saying is connect the lower letter, say A, to the uppercase letter, capital A. So they're doing that all the way through, A to A, B to B, C to C, D to D. And it keeps on going. So you can see those. So the upper wing has got the capitals, the lower wing has the lowercase, and that's how it all goes together. Once that's all done, should you want to fit an antenna for aerial, for the radio gear, you put in that sort of shape there. And then the 4 marking options. Now, interesting to note, these ones, this is England 1929, number 3 squadron. This is a box art, by the way, but it's got on the right blue, white, and red, whereas this one has got red, white, and blue. So there is a difference there. RAF changed from having blue, white, and red to red, white, and blue in 1929. So you could do one or the other. You wouldn't be wrong. They would have painted them one way and then the other. And so yeah, sorry. 3's got an RAF, 17's got an RAF, and an Aussie one. So number 1 flying squadron at Point Cook, which is Point Cook is still there. It's the oldest continuous operating military airfield on the planet, with the Australian Air Force being the second oldest air force in the world. And you can see here, it's got the blue, white, and red. Now, that's what I did on mine. I went for a different scheme. I went for an aftermarket scheme. I bought this extra decal set, and it's got different squadrons there. 19 squadron there, which is interesting, I thought, because it's the scheme that's in there's a 72nd scale vintage classics release from Airfix a couple of years ago. So 19 squadron, of course, later on became the launch customers, if you like, for the Spitfire. Right. So yeah. So the schemes in this one are Bristol Bulldog Mark IIA, flown by Pilot Officer Douglas R.S. Barter of 23 Squadron on the 14th of December 1931. So that's the serial number of the aircraft that he lost his legs in, poor bugger. You got another one, which is 3 Squadron again, which is pretty much the same scheme as what's in the FX release. 54 Squadron, so yellow stripes, and then 19 Squadron. This is Squadron Leader AC Sanderson at RAF Duxford. And then, what's on top and bottom of the wings and everything else. So that's the one I went for. So I've got Douglas Barter's serial number as a just a bit of be different. And I've gone for the radio suite as well. So you see on the lower wing there, I've got 2 propellers driving the air-powered magnetos. The aerial mask there and the cross shape of it. Now all the struts, it's probably hard to see. You can see all the wing struts there. I didn't use Easy Line. I did for these aerials, which is why they're so bouncy. But all these other ones are stainless steel. So they're from a company called SBS Model. But it was stainless steel for the Airfix kit, Bulldog rigging wire. Now, what's cool about this is, apart from having spares of each one, you can see there's a little piece there. Being stainless, that they're a bit less prone to bending than the brass ones. They're a bugger to cut out from the frame there, but once they're on, yeah, they fit pretty well, these ones. What I did like about these, it says for maximum adjustment, pre-drill as deep as possible into the kit's pilot holes. I read that after I put it all together, went, there's pilot holes, and realized my fault. Drill with a 0.3 drill bit and put it the same angle as racing wire. Now, this is cool. The SBS set follows the same alphabetical order as the kit's instructions, with the inclusion of a letter assigned to the undercarriage bracing and 2 letters assigned to the wing strut bracing, which aren't in the instructions. So it shows them, but it doesn't label them. So they've called them O, W, and V. Yeah. Add the wires in the wings, the center first, and work outwards. So HIML followed by EFQP. So it's all very straightforward. And as it says in the instructions there, they're all labeled, as you can see there, if I can hold it right. Yeah, they're alphabetical letters. And it comes with these extra ones here. So if you've got the aileron set in the neutral plane, you use these ones there to connect the lower wing, the control rod, to the upper wing's ailerons. If the aileron's lowered, you can use a shorter one. If it's raised, you use a longer one. So that's pretty cool. And it gives you a couple of spares of each, and I still got some spares on that. I used more than I would have liked. What happened with this, when I put it together, I finished it Wednesday, say a week ago, 15th of January. And then later that day, a big storm hit Newcastle, well, all New South Wales. We were hit at Williamtown, where I am. It's 120 kilometre an hour winds, and this was sitting on the desk as it is here, and it blew off. All the rain came in the door behind me, and it blew off the desk. The top wing detached, along with all the bracing wires and everything else. And I thought, I went, oh bugger! Closed the door and got to this after a couple of days. Went back and fitted it all again. So as a result of which is not as nice as what it was the first time. But as you can see, whatever bracing was, I think I lost one of them, and I just grabbed another spare from that sheet and used it. They weren't that easy to put on. The hardest part, I've got to admit, was cutting it from the frame, but they do fit pretty well, and it's nice looking thing. So the paints I used all over, it's SMS. I used AK Extreme Metals. It's a polished aluminium for all the metal parts for the nose, a diagonal bracing ahead of the red panel there is polished aluminium, and the rest of the aircraft is a matte aluminium. Now, because I was going to be handling it a lot to put the bracing wires on, I wanted to seal the aluminium so it wouldn't erode by me picking it up and twisting it and all that all the time to hold my tongue right, you know what I mean? So I hit it all with a Tamiya clear gloss. But by doing that, then it dulled down the polished aluminium, so it looks the same as a matte aluminium. And that's probably apart from it blowing off the desk, it's probably the thing that I'm most disappointed with, because it used to look very different with the two different aluminiums on the nose and the rest of it. But now it almost looks the same. I went for just a British standard World War II green for the top panel there. And just to my eye, it looks good. And this one, of course, is yeah, a yellow spinner and the wheels. Now, the rims, the wheel rims, they're silver here. They're actually a decal that comes with the FX kit itself. So there's two semicircle halves that go on each side. Yeah, so you can just paint the wheels with a color, hand paint if you wanted the rubber, and then go back and cover up your sins by placing a decal there. And it does come up pretty well. As I said, the only problem I've had is it blowing off the desk. I had to re-glue it again, so the bombs came off, the position light came off. By handling it so much, the paint has eroded from the back of the lower wing there, so you can see the start of the black coming through. It's not perfect, but it's not so bad. Oh, and there's you can see on the wingtip on top there's a navigation light painted clear blue. Well, the red one, it's somewhere in the garage. I'm not even sure where, but if I find it one day, I'll glue it back on. Everything else that broke off is back on, so I managed to save it. And I think it's just as well, because it was such a beautiful plane to build. I've heard criticism of the kit that they shouldn't have bothered putting all the interior in. Well, I enjoyed building the interior. True, you can't see much of it, but what you can see makes me happy. Let's see a shine if I light in there. So you can see I've got a little bit of, instead of painting it aluminium on the sides, I went for all of it as the doped. Well, the forward panels are metal, but the rest of it behind the seat, I went for the doped sort of brick red color, and that sort of pops. Seat belt I just made out of a bit of tape and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's good. Not much to report really. Beautiful. Everything goes together really well. I have heard criticism online that the wings are crap, that you have just a big seam at the trailing edge here and it's too thick. And I'm looking at it going, well, it's not a problem there. It's not a problem for me. I'm just like, well, that's fine. It's not too thick. I think it's perfectly fine. What I did do, though, it's hard to see on camera, but yeah, I misaligned the top and bottom halves of the upper wing. So there it sort of fits well on the leading edge, but here I've got a stagger going on, and that's my fault alone. But again, if you don't look at it under certain light conditions, you don't even notice. But it's a beautiful aircraft, this one, and I think FX have knocked it out of the park. It's just really nice offering, and I think I'll build another one. I've got decals for other ones. I've got most of the decals remaining. I didn't use the kit ones, and I could also go back and do the Australian one, put it in the museum down the road. But that's me. That's the FX Bristol Bulldog Mark II in 48 scale. Beautiful kit, really nice build, and hope you enjoy. And I'll see you hopefully back for another one of these. See you later. Uru. Oh, where's that button? There, that one.